Psalm 107. Praise ye the Lord, for he is good. His mercy fills eternity. So sing they whom the Lord hath won, redeemed and ransomed for his own. Won from the dark oppressor's hand, and glean'd afar in every land. The flock by him together driven, from underneath all winds of heaven. Far in the wild they went astray, a parched lone desert and no way. No haunt of men, no home they found, hungry and thirsty all around. With languid heart they gaze and sigh, then to our Lord in sadness cry. The Almighty heard them as they cried, their bands of anguish he untied. He marked them out an even road, to a green isle, a sure abode. Then let them to the Almighty Lord tell out his love, his ways adored, and wonders wrought in hour of need for children of our mortal seed. And how he filled the spirit void, the hungry soul with goodness cloyed. There are who sit in darkness deep, low in the shade of death. In misery and in iron bound, they draw their weary breath. Because in evil hour they dared the almighty word defy. They lightly scorned the eternal law, the will of God most high. Their heart with anguish he hath bowed, they stumbled and lay low. Came no deliverer heavenward then, they turned them in their woe. They call on Israel's God, and he enlarges their sad heart. From darkness and the shade of death he freely bids depart. His mighty arm hath burst their bonds, they sin and sing they to the Lord. His mercy and his mighty works for helpless mortals store. And how he shattered with strong hand the folding doors of brass, and snapped in twain the iron bars, and bade the prisoners pass. When willful men of wayward heart moan in, they moan and pine apart, for wandering ways and deeds of ill, when food and joy with loathing fill their spirit, and with fainting breath they linger by the gates of death. To God in their sad hour they cried, their bands of anguish he untied. He sent his word and healed them all, he snatched them from their woe and thrall. Then let them to the Almighty Lord tell out his love, his ways adored. Tell out his wonders wrought in need for children of our mortal seed. With bounteous hand their offerings bring, thank offerings to the eternal King. And count thy works so deep and high with joy and perfect melody. They who go down in daring bark and plunge in haze of ocean dark, their daily harvest reap. Amid the many waters they the mighty works of God survey, his wonders in the deep. He spake, high swelled the whirling blast, the waves of God so high and fast, ascend to heaven they rise. Then down amid the deeps below they sink in self-consuming woe. Their spirit melts and dies. They reel as revelers to and fro, and like a drunkard staggering go. Their deep device and skill to their own heart dismayed return. For God in prayer they ask and yearn in that dark hour of ill. They called the eternal and he freed, and saved them in the overwhelming need. The whirlwind's ruthless wing he stayed, in calm it dies away, and the hushed waves in peace decay. Their hearts for gladness spring. Glad are they, for they are at rest. So to the land they love the best, the port of their desire. He guides them where to Israel's Lord, his tender love, his ways adored, their anthem shall aspire, and tell his wonders wrought in need, for children of our mortal seed. So may his holy name find glory where the people meet, the elders in the judgment seat his endless might proclaim. The flowing waters to a wild, the water springs to dreary drought. He turns a fruitful region mild, his ire to salt and burning broad. It withers for the people's sin, again he makes the wild a pool. Where sand and bitter herbs have been, he turns the waste to fountains cool. And there he sets the hungry there, to mark them out a home and rest. Green ordered vines and furrows fair, with golden stores in season blessed. Loved, blessed, and multiplied amain by their great God's benignest will. There is a watcher on the plain, to guard their herds from wasting ill. And when to earth they droop again, worn out with wrong and menaced sore, with galling thoughts then heaven is fain contempt on mighty ones to pour. Them in the pathless void astray he soon will lead and find the while, for his afflicted on their way a refuge high, a sheltering isle. As sheep let loose from mountain fold, the quiet households far and wide, he plants the just with joy, behold, the froward scorner's tongue is tied. What man is wise and true of mind? These wonders in his soul are stored, still more and more to search and find the mercies of the Almighty Lord.